Good morning, class. This is English lesson 123 on adverbs. We're going to start by reviewing our jingles, so go grab your English binder and let's get started. All right, open up to jingle, I believe it's 5, jingle 5 about adjectives. Hopefully you're having some of this already tucked away into your memory. If not, let's start now. Please say it with me. An adjective modifies a noun or a pronoun. An adjective asks, what kind? Which one? How many? To find an adjective, go. Ask, get. Where do I go? To the noun or the pronoun. What do I ask? What kind? Which one? How many? What do I get? An adjective. That's what. Now I want you to pause the video and see if you can say it without peeking. How'd you do? Hopefully you're getting it. Let's try jingle Z, I believe it's called. I don't know why they give you a letter when everything else is numbers, but anyway, let's try the one about article adjectives. Here we go. We are the article adjectives, teeny tiny adjectives, a and the, a and the. Pause the video and see if you can say it without peeking. Okay, I want you to turn to your verb jingle, which you already have memorized, but let's go ahead and turn there and review what a verb is. Because today's study on adverbs starts with reviewing verbs. All right, I'm sure you're there, the verb jingle. I think it's jingle 4, maybe not. Find jingle for the verb. Here we go. A verb, a verb. What is a verb? Haven't you heard there are 2 kinds of verbs, the action verb and the linking verb. The action verb shows a state of action, like stand and sit and smile. The action verb is always doing because it tells what the subject does. We stand, we sit, we smile. Let's pause there. I know you guys know what a linking verb is, and we used linking verbs in our last couple of chapters, but today when we're studying adverbs, we're going to be using only action verbs. So we don't need to go any further than that with this jingle. An action verb is always doing. It tells what the subject does. It's action. Go on now to the adverb jingle, which is that's 4. The adverb jingle 4. Let's do that one together. Listen to it first because this is new, and then we'll do it together. An adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. An adverb asks how, when, where. To find an adverb, go, ask, get. Where do I go? To the verb, adjective, or another adverb. What do I ask? How, when, where. What do I get? An adverb. That's what. Sounds a lot like the adjective one, isn't it? So if you've got your pencil handy, go ahead and circle on the first line of that jingle a verb, adjective, or another adverb. That's different than the adjective one. And then on the second line, it says an adverb asks, underline these 3 questions. How, when, where. Those are the 2 differences between these 2 chants, an adjective and an adverb. So make sure you're noticing those and memorizing those. Let's say the adverb jingle again. Say it with me. An adverb modifies a verb, adjective, or another adverb. An adverb asks how, when, where. To find an adverb, go, ask, get. Where do I go? To the verb, adjective, or another adverb. What do I ask? How, when, where. What do I get? An adverb. That's what. Look again at these 2 differences with adjectives and adverbs. They both start with the word add, or the prefix add, but they're not doing the same job. First of all, the chant tells us to go to 2 different places. For an adjective, we go find our noun or pronoun. Mostly we've been finding nouns in 4th grade. And then asking, what kind of? What kind? Which one? How many? We've been practicing that the last 2 days. But today we're going to add adverbs. Adverbs, to find them, we have to go to a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Now in 4th grade, you're mostly going to be starting with verbs to find your adverb. But when you get older, you will need to know that adverbs can also describe adjectives and even other adverbs. So adverbs, we're going to go to the verb, and then we're going to ask about that verb, how, when, where. For instance, let's break down this sentence. We got to start with our subject and verb, okay? So let's ask our questions. Say it with me. The black dog lazily slept. What lazily slept? Dog. That's my subject. What is being said about dog? Dog. What's the dog doing? The dog slept. That's my verb. Now you guys have been doing that for a long time, so I know you know how to find the subject and verb. This week we added in adjectives. So to find an adjective, we go to the noun or the pronoun. So in this case, our noun is our subject, dog. And when we find our dog, we ask these questions. What kind of dog? You already found it. It's a black dog. That's an adjective. You also learned that there are some article adjectives. We don't even have to ask these questions. We just know they are teeny tiny adjectives, a and the. So the would be another adjective, and that's all there is. Now, we found our adjectives. Let's see if we can find our adverbs. To find an adverb, we go to the verb. Here's our verb. We already know how to find verbs. Once I'm at my verb, I ask these questions. Slept how? Slept when? Or slept where? Let's see if we can find an answer. Slept how? Lazily. He slept lazily. That's an adverb. I hope you're catching on how to do this. Let's try some more adverbs. All right, let's start by finding our subject and our verb and ask the questions with me. The road runner quickly caught the rattlesnake. Who quickly caught the rattlesnake? Road runner. That's my subject. What is being said about road runner? Road runner, what do? He caught. That's my verb. So to find my adverb, I go to my verb, there it is, caught, and I ask, caught how? Caught when? Caught where? Do you see an answer to that? Caught how? How did he catch it? He caught it quickly. This would be my adverb, quickly. It answers the question, how? How did he catch that rattlesnake? He caught it quickly. Let's try this one. Read it with me and ask the questions. Gila monsters often live underneath rocks. What often live underneath rocks? Gila monsters. What is being said about Gila monsters? Gila monsters live. That's what they're doing. They're living. Now to find my adverb, I go to the verb. So I'm going to go to my verb. Here it is. It's always underlined twice. And I ask, live how? Live when? Live where? Now you might be tempted to say, well, it's answering where he lives. He lives underneath rocks. But is that one word? No, that's two words, and that is actually a prepositional phrase, which we'll learn later on this year. Bonus. But let's go back. We need one word that answers the question, lives how, when, or where. Can you spot it? It's kind of the only thing left, isn't it? It's often. That answers the question, live when? Often. Let's try this last one. The vulture swooped down from the sky. What swooped down from the sky? Vulture. That's my subject. You can even make your dividing line if you want. What is being said about vulture? Vulture swooped. That's a great word. It's a great action. So I'm going to find my adverb. I go to my verb. Here's my verb. And I ask, swooped how? Doesn't really answer that. Swooped when? Doesn't tell me a time. Swooped where? Now, you might be tempted to say from the sky. That tells me where, but that's not just one word. That's another prepositional phrase that we'll study later. So keep that aside. What's the one word that tells us where this vulture swooped? down. Swooped where? He swooped down. And that's our adverb. We're going to practice on a few more sentences, and I have a special clue to let you know as soon as we're done with these sentences, so hang with me. Thorny devils live only in Australian deserts. What's a thorny devil? You could look it up, but I'm going to tell you. It's a kind of lizard. You could still look it up to see what it looks like. He's very thorny looking. Read it with me again. Thorny devils live only in Australian deserts. What live only in Australian deserts? Thorny devils. And we underline both of those because that's a specific name of a lizard. What is being said about thorny devils? Thorny devils live. So to find my adverb, I go to my verb and I ask, live how? Doesn't answer that. Live when? Doesn't answer that. Live where? Oh, you might be tempted to say, they live where? In Australian deserts. But that's not one word, that's a prepositional phrase. So let's try it again. Live where? Only. Or that could be answering live how? Only. Okay, let's try the next one. Read it with me. Thorny devils move slowly. What moves slowly? Thorny devils. What is being said about thorny devils? Thorny devils move. What is being said about move? Move how? They move slowly. There's my adverb. And that was kind of a giveaway. It was the only word left, wasn't it? That's nice when that happens. Let's try this one. Dingoes usually behave like dogs. What usually behave like dogs? Dingoes. What is being said about dingoes? Dingoes. What are they doing? They can't usually. Dingoes behave. That's what they're doing. That's my verb. Now I'm going to go to my verb and ask behave how? You might be tempted to say like dogs. That's more than one word. That's a prepositional phrase. So it can't be that. Behave how? Usually. Okay, last sentence. Read it with me. The dingo howls loudly across the Australian desert. What howls loudly across the Australian desert? The dingo. Just dingo, right? We know that the is a article adjective. What is being said about dingo? Dingo, what's he doing? Howls. There's my action verb. To find my adverb, I go to my verb and ask, howls how? Did you find it? He howls loudly. Now again, you might be tempted to say, well, there's something in that sentence, Mrs. Huff, that also answers howls where? He howls across the Australian desert. That's more than one word. That's a prepositional phrase. Yeah, those are tricky. Now, I told you I was going to tell you a clue about adverbs. Let's see if you can spot a pattern here. Let's look at our adverbs. We had only, we had slowly, we had usually, and we had loudly. Notice anything about those four words? I can hear Noah saying, I see it. And Eli going, And Brody going, this is so easy. Yes, they all end in ly. Only, slowly, usually, loudly. Often adverbs end in ly. No, not always. In our previous sentences that I did, several of the adverbs did not end in ly. But often, adverbs will end in ly. So that's another clue to help you. All right, go to your Google Docs and you work on your adverbs today.